Oh, hello! Welcome back to the podcast. Been a while. So, we got a lot to go through right now. So, whoa, listen to that music. Isn't that cool? Oh, wouldn't you like to know where we got that? Well, we have to tell you legally. Go to bensound.com. It's all royalty free as long as you give him a shout out. We also have a new mixer. Don't we sound better? Whoa! With the help of my parents, aka my Christmas money, we can now sound better. And we have sound effects, so that's pretty cool. We also have a lot of new shows. So, for new shows, we have Zooted with the Stars, where we sit down, we watch Star Wars, off camera, of course, because legal issues. And then we come back, we go on camera, and we talk about it, because I've never seen any of them. We, of course, have the podcast. We have, dude, what even is Pokemon? Where we just play Pokemon games, and we guess which Pokemon is which, and Nate and I try and beat the shit out of each other. You know, like normal. We have the mail, if you will. It's Mailman's show. He can sit, talk about whatever he wants. He typically goes through topics pretty fast by learning, and we never hear about all of them, and we want to hear more about Mailman. We also have the Almost Man Hour, where Nick and Robin sit down and talk about sports and cars and boy stuff, you know, monster trucks. We also have Woman Moments, which isn't what you think. Please don't judge me for my names. We will be sitting down, giving advice, and just kind of, If I were to compare this to other projects, it would be like Always Open, but a little more raunchy because it's me. We also have a shit tier, where we make tier lists of things, like why giraffes are C tier, and why whipped cream is A tier. So will be filming those, and those will go out on Tuesdays on a scheduled basis, and then Thursdays will be specifically for the podcast. So, on that note, please enjoy the podcast.
How many times did it take for you to back out and go back in to take a picture with Smurgle?
I had to do it like 3 times, and I just got lucky.
Who is Smurgle?
He's the painter Pokemon.
He's got paint on his. He's got a paintbrush tail.
He's really OP and competitive.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my fucking god.
That is always going to play even if the sounds
Which
are
just
off.
I
No,
know,
it isn't.
my
No, it
sound's
doesn't.
Basically,
off.
just copies.
No, my sound
and
was
the last
off.
person uses his.
No, it wasn't. Your game. Your
Disgusting.
This is Smurgle, this little guy.
Oh, that motherfucker.
That
Yeah.
motherfucker.
That motherfucker.
That motherfucker.
I should show you guys. Well, Robin, what was the Pokemon game I showed you? Pokemon Channel. Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Where Smurgle would judge your artwork that
Yes.
you would draw.
That's wholesome as fuck.
And then Pikachu would randomly change the channels on you and buy stuff without you knowing. And Slowpoke was the newscaster.
Holy fuck, bro! My fingers are turning blue too. Or my thumb is.
Not your fingers.
Oh, yo, we have to wait till February 7th for fucking.
For fucking?
For.
Bro, I don't want to wait
That's so
that.
long.
For what?
I've
For
waited
Super
long
Bowl.
enough. I can wait a little
Oh
bit more.
yeah, dude. I was kind of happy that the KC
Stop.
got it.
I don't
for
want
the
to be
bill.
horny.
Uh-oh, Hoggers,
Really?
we're gonna have a fight.
Why?
Fuck Kansas City, bro.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Mr. Glenn would be
Oh.
upset.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck Casey.
No, not you. Your
Bulls.
dad,
Jeff.
Jeff.
What the hell?
Jeff football.
My
Jeff
poor
football.
Bills. They shit their
No, the
pants.
Bulls. The
Yeah, you kept saying the Bulls. I was
The
like,
Bulls.
That's not the name of the
The
You
New
were like,
York
I don't know,
Bulls.
the Bulls?
I said Bills and I corrected myself to
Chicago
Bulls because
No,
it was
no,
a
you
picture
said,
of.
you said
The
Bulls
Chicago
first.
Bills?
And then went, I don't know what they're called. Because I repeated Bulls.
Balls.
Balls.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Balls.
I repeated you and you were like, I don't know what they're called. They could be
Oh,
called
yeah.
that.
No, there was a meme that showed up. It was this British show where they have to like. It's just you have to guess people. It's like
Bro,
Do you want to be a
imagine being
millionaire?
British.
but with like somebody to like go against you. And one of the questions was, which sport is the pro athlete Fanny Schmeller a part of?
Yeah.
And it turns out fanny in British means vagina. Or
Oh, no.
vagina.
What?
As
I thought fanny was a butt.
I thought it meant
Yeah, I
ass.
thought so too.
Really?
So like
What?
apparently
Fuck, Britain?
it means pussy in British. So pussy smeller. And then it was funny.
Yo,
Fucking
Zach,
British people are
your
weird.
tongue is more blue than Rhiannon's hair.
Just start rubbing that on her head.
Bro, I could fix your
Give
hair.
you some extra
You come
color.
anywhere near me with that, and we're gonna fight.
Just toss it in.
Booby.
You.
Yo, I had to do 2 different harassment training videos for the same company
Fuck that. I'll harass who I want.
because
Yeah, you're mine.
because of the Illinois stores. I had to do 2 different things of the same training.
Why? 'Cause you're in Missouri. Why would you?
Well, I travel, so like they're like, well, no, they like put it out there like, hey, we have to get this done, blah blah blah, and really didn't say anything about it much.
yeah.
So nobody went to it. And
Yeah.
then they got all pissed off, and then we're like,
Because it doesn't work. That type of training doesn't work.
and then it's
Yeah, young person's like, oh shit, really?
Oh,
do that?
yeah, it's the funniest thing ever to
Fucking
like,
Bill
watch.
Burr had a thing like that where they were talking about like domestic abuse on Oprah, and he was like, "It's so ridiculous that they keep doing this. Like one guy's just gonna be watching this and be like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, upsy daisy, sweetheart," shit like that.
You
So-
escaped.
So I looked it up. Mailman is correct. It's British slang for vulva and British slang for buttocks. It can be both.
Oh, wait. What the fuck does a car have to do with the pussy?
Well, if you click on this, see how it's a clickable link? It goes to its description, and it's parts of the female genital
What parts?
organs.
The external parts. Oh shit, you mean the lip?
Oh. Because it looked like a butt.
The wind catchers.
Imagine getting naked with a boy for the first time, right? And you're real vulnerable, and he just goes, "Man, look at that fanny." I'd be like, "Get out!" I'd be like, "Get out! Get out of my house!"
Quite pushable in
Hey, you ever played peekaboo with the pussy?
God damn it.
I can't.
Brandon, you look actually upset.
I'm upset because that's something my boyfriend would do.
Oh.
That's what upsets me.
I'm giving him ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zach dying over here. Zach Zach's got his fucking jawbreaker and he's licking
My
on it and
God.
he's dying. How many colors do you think are in that?
blue.
It looks like it turns basically straight to white once you make it through blue.
I've got like
Maybe a
6
little bit
shades
green.
of blue.
All blue? Wow. Wow.
And then there's white.
Well, that's upsetting. I was hoping for more colors. Yo!
Hi.
What's up?
Hold on.
Howdy.
Howdy.
What is Canadian bacon?
An amazing invention.
This bacon
It's ham with extra steps.
shit's from Canada.
It's a different part of the pig. It's not the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I've had 2 run-ins with 2 separate customers about Canadian bacon.
Were they Canadian?
No.
Wow.
So, the first guy, he asked for Canadian bacon on his pizza, and I gave him ham, right? Because that's what he wants.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And he calls back saying I gave him the wrong topping.
True.
And I'm like, what?
Was he expecting actual bacon?
Right. And so I was like, that's my bad. Maybe I should, ask next time. Because maybe he did want bacon. He just, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Bitches be weird.
Bitches be shopping.
They do be.
And so the next customer, it was a lady. She said she wanted Canadian bacon. I was like, okay, we have ham and we have bacon. We do not have Canadian bacon. Which would you prefer, the ham or the bacon? And she goes, I don't want either. I want Canadian bacon. And I'm like, well, the closest thing we have to Canadian bacon is ham. And she's like,
Alright.
well, that's not Canadian bacon. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
So we've gone over that we don't have that.
But we
Yeah.
don't have it. And I get annoyed because I'm like, okay, cool story, bro, but we don't have what you want then. So, here are my two alternatives. Which would you prefer? And she's like, I guess ham. And I was like, you could have answered that originally, and it would have, this whole situation would have been fine. Which brought me to the solution of, what the hell is Canadian bacon?
See, that
So-
just makes me want to call up to your store now and just be like, I want a pizza with ham on it, and then get it, and then be like, you give me Canadian bacon. just to mess with the system.
Okay.
So, I went to the only Canadian I know, which is Andrew Panton. And I went, hey, I need an opinion right quick. And I said, is Canadian bacon ham or bacon? And he goes, I believe it's a cut of ham. So I sent him a picture of a ham slice from work. And I said, would you say this is ham or bacon? And he goes, that looks like ham to me. And I went, thank you, sir, you've been very helpful. So Canadian bacon and ham, they're the same fucking thing.
Isn't it
Says
like,
Andrew Panton.
So I looked it up while you were saying that. It calls it back bacon.
baby got
Apparently, it's derived from the same cut used for pork chops.
Yeah, apparently it's just
Which is
thickly
kind of-
cut
Yeah.
ham slices.
So yeah, Canadian bacon is just ham.
like
It's just
thicker
ham.
ham?
It's just ham cut thicker.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because like
Everything
I've had that
everything a pig is ham, technically.
I mean,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
I've had that like I went to Mod and I'll get that on
Do
my
they
pizza.
have Canadian bacon?
Well, I called it Canadian bacon one time, and then I called it ham the next time, and it was the same thing. They didn't care.
They're doing the same thing Susan's doing.
Yeah. They assumed what you wanted.
Yeah,
Only I apparently assumed wrong.
apparently.
Dude, you should try to call into your workplace and ask for a Canadian pizza and see if they just get
Okay,
as
but they know
confused.
my number.
Oh, shit.
Caller ID is a thing, Jason.
Yeah.
No!
They get locked in the system because she's probably ordered stuff for herself.
Dude, I've ordered
All
so
those
much.
bomb threats to the FBI are probably gonna backfire.
I would always, I would get like a 2 liter of Pib a lot when I was working.
Yeah, like I often get soda and I get pastas.
I'll get
And
myself a cheesy
sometimes-
bread. 'cause-
Sometimes I'll get a little baby pizza.
What I like to do is I like to go in and I like to try and create the hardest pizza to make. So I'll just sit down because I have nothing else going on, and I'll start making. I'll design a pan pizza with the garlic parm sauce rather than the marinara,
Oh.
and then I put every possible cheese on it.
yeah.
All of them. I think there's like 7 or 8 options for cheese,
Yeah.
All of it.
and then I'll add like Philly steak. And
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, it's really tasty. It's really good.
With that many types of cheese, I would think that.
The only thing that I've tweaked on it is the garlic parm sauce is just a little bit much. With marinara, it's it's good.
If you guys ever get like real slow, you should make an attempt to make stuffed crust.
We still haven't. Okay, so my idea for stuffed crust is that we get cheese sticks
Yes.
and we roll them in the dough. However, we haven't been slow enough, nor have I gotten cheese sticks to buy
Damn.
to try.
How many cheese sticks would you need to? That's probably at least one a slice. So, like, at least 8 or 9, maybe
8.
10. 8.
8. It would be 8 if it's
Well,
one a
it's-
slice.
It's string cheese. You can cut that in half pretty easy.
That's true.
It looks like a planet.
But,
Looks like
yeah,
Uranus. Ah.
Look, man, I ain't even on the make line. I just deliver the shit. But it just seems like it's so much work.
Not really, I guess. Like,
You worked at a pizza place. Did you have stuffed crust?
Did I have stuffed crust? No, but my
There you go.
pizza. I didn't actually work at a pizza place either. I worked at a trampoline park.
But didn't you make pizza a whole lot of the time?
I made frozen pizza that had to go onto, get prepped up and thrown in the pizza oven within 45 seconds. Otherwise, the dough became so thawed out that it would just fall apart.
Interesting.
Yo, my dad started asking me questions about work, right? Because originally they were like, do not they thought Domino's would be downgrading, right? So they were like, Domino's is a phase. Domino's is a phase. She'll go back. Now they actually started asking me questions, and my dad was like, hey, do you make your dough? And I went, I mean, someone does. It's not me.
Nah.
And he goes, how do you get your dough? And I'm like, so they give us truck 3 times a week, and
EA.
we get truck 3 times a week. And on every truck we get the different sizes of dough that we need. We just get the balls. We don't make it ourselves. Why? And he goes, well, your uncle, he used to work at a pizza company. He's like, I can't remember which pizza company it was. And I was like, of course not. He's like, but they made the dough. And he was like, I don't know. I wonder if they still did that. And I'm like, no. And he goes, oh. That's weird. He always said it was so much fun. And I'm like, yeah, well, now he's in jail, so I wonder if that's so much fun. And he points at me, laughs too aggressively, and walks away. And I was like, good talk.
Ha 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 ha. Sits down, doesn't say another word.
Like you ran out of dialogue options.
I was like, I got him.
So you gotta put tits on your pizza.
Oh my god. Titty pizza.
Calzone.
Pepperoni mix that with titty. I miss.
It's just open in the back, and then you gotta open the calzone, and then.
Speaking of tits, and I'm like, I cannot talk about.
Speaking of pizza, one of my first nights closing, we get a phone call, and it's a bunch of ladies giggling in the background, right? So I'm like, this is a prank call, is my first thought. I'm like, prank call, but okay. And I was like, well, how can I help you? And she's like, do you make your pizzas into erotic shapes?
Oh.
And I went, trying to be as professional as I can, went, what kind of erotic shapes? Right? What are we talking? And I hear a bunch of people laugh in the background. And I'm like, and she goes, for bachelorette parties. And I went, oh, no. I was like,
you can order our regular shaped pizza and pretend it is either a boob or a testicle.
I was like,
that's about it.
I was like, if you want, you could, have a normal looking pizza with fun designed toppings on top, if you'd like. And I'm like, but the whole pizza, I'm not real sure how we would box it, how well it would cook.
Yeah.
And how to make it actually look good. Those are my 3 concerns. And they're like, nah, that's fair. And they're like, thanks anyway. I'm like, not a problem. And I walk up to Tyler, our assistant manager, and I go, Tyler, do we make erotic pizzas? And he goes, why, are you thinking about your bachelorette party right now? And I was like, no!
So he probably could have done it. Right?
And I'm like, no. And he's like, I mean, we've made penis-shaped cheesy breads before.
Yeah, for
funsies.
Yeah.
Someone bought a cheesy bread and was like, I'm gonna make this look like a penis,
Mm-hmm.
They've done that, but they
It's
never.
like you didn't tell them when they ordered and they weren't expecting it?
Oh no, this is often when a worker is like, I'm gonna make a cheesy bread, and I think it would be pretty fun to make it into a dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you could also tell them, if you order enough pizzas, You could just kind of put them in the order
Well, that-
of a penis.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't know if we have a big enough box.
No, they do that
Yeah.
themselves. They unfold all the boxes and then they just kind of set it up.
Assemble their own penis.
What if
Yes.
you make too many pizzas, like
Build a dick.
very small pizzas, and then you put a cheesy bread in there?
Well, what I was thinking is 2 small pizzas
Uh-huh.
with all the meats on it, right?
Yeah.
And then a
All
cheesy
the
bread.
meats.
Yeah.
And then a cheesy bread. With maybe it doesn't have sauce in it, so like maybe like garlic or not garlic parm in it, because it's white.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like that, so that they have the side item and 2 pieces.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know how we do
I
that.
have no idea.
I would just go for it next time somebody asks,
Well, here's the thing.
unless you can't.
The next week, I open, or I come in for like an evening shift, and I hear, "Yo, we made an erotic pizza," and I went, "Huh?" And they went, "Well, these ladies called, and they wanted an erotic shaped pizza.
Oh,
We were slow as fuck, so Tyler was like, sure."
Hell yeah.
And I was like, "You did it without me?" I had so many ideas for how it could look.
How did they do it though?
I don't know. I never asked.
Oh,
I'm sad.
they probably didn't do it as well thought out as you did. You were thinking. Yeah, I don't remember any time we could do something like that at Martone's.
Yeah, we made sandwiches.
Yeah,
like some sandwiches.
They were already cylinders.
Yeah.
They were phallic enough.
There's not really a whole lot more you can do with that.
All dick and no balls.
Makes Jack a very dull boy.
Poor Chuck.
Poor Jack, man.
no nut Jack?
Who's Jack?
No? Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I almost asphyxiated myself yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Oh?
Please explain.
bro.
Yeah.
Did you put a bag over your head?
No. No. So what I did was people who don't know, which is everybody besides the people here, I have naturally brown hair, so I bleached it. And instead of doing the smart thing and opening a window or a door, I closed myself into the bathroom so that the kid wouldn't come in and eat the bleach. And I didn't open a window because it was snowing. And I lost my sight for a little bit and I could not see as I'm trying to bleach my hair. And because within the past 7 months, I think I've bleached my hair 5 times, I'm gonna have no hair. So I am crying my eyes out from all the chemicals, just bleaching the shit out of my hair and just going, fuck, shit, it's gonna fall out, damn it, no! And yeah. So that happened. Couldn't see for a little bit. But then I could once I finally found the window. So, the price
Dude.
you paid to be blue.
Bleaching your hair is fucking terrifying.
Oh my god, have you ever made your own bleach?
Yeah.
with
What?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So
What?
they give you the ingredients.
That
You
was
put
weird
them.
to me too. What?
Okay.
Yeah.
They give
You
you.
don't just go buy like OxyClean.
Why
not?
They
Bleach
give
your
you-
hair.
I assumed that's what you did.
You can.
Hair.
You can. It takes a while. They give you a powder. I don't know what the powder is.
Developer.
Sure. They give you a primer, a bottle of primer. It's a liquid.
Yeah.
You put them together. They make a paste. You put that paste in your hair, and boom, your head's on fire.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that there isn't clumps in it, or that the paste is dry because it dries out, and your hair literally radiates heat.
It will fry. That's how I fried my hair.
Yeah.
Is this how Clorox is
No.
No.
made? Okay.
No.
Billy
No.
Mays here.
Billy Mays here with the Clorox home starter kit.
He sold OxyClean though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
close.
it was actually kind of cool.
Now with Arm & Hammer.
Yeah. The bottom of my hair was.
It gets the tough stains out.
The bottom of your hair.
The bottom of my hair was green and blue.
Yeah.
Because I dyed it black and it all washed out. So, what?
I heard it too.
You said wash.
Worse.
It's worse.
I didn't know
okay?
that there
Where's
was
the
an R.
Where is the R in that word?
Leave
Do
me alone.
Do me a favor.
Okay?
Spell.
I want you to spell the word that
Spell
you
it.
use when you
Spell.
clean something like your hair.
Spell wash for me.
What's the? How do you spell that word?
Worcestershire.
Exactly. That's the case. Oh my god, I don't even know. Yo, yeah. So it
Your
turned-
hair?
Yeah, my hair. So I had washed it out of my hair, and so it was
How do you-
blue and green on the bottom. So
Yeah.
when I bleached it, I'm thinking, oh, I get white hair, and it's gonna be just a nice shade of blue, you know. I bleach it, my hair is completely white, except for the bottom, which is neon pink.
Oh.
Words that I never would have expected to come out of my mouth are, I'm a candy cane. I didn't want that. I don't want that reaction
You're
of being a
chameleon.
candy cane.
You're a chameleon.
So, I've
Good song.
bleached my hair twice, and I've tried to go blonde without bleach once. So I was not allowed to bleach my hair. I was 14. I was not allowed to bleach my hair. That was a no-no. I was like, okay, but if I get blonde, like ultra blonde dye, it will make my hair lighter,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I wanted. My hair is very dark. I wanted something fun.
Uh-huh.
And my mom was like, sure. My hair was orange.
Oh no!
And I had to live with it because, you know, not my money to buy something to fix it. So
Mhm.
my mom made me wear it in shame. Which, pro parenting tip, I'm so proud of her.
Oh, I know
I would have
that
done the
feeling.
same fucking thing.
I know that feeling all too well.
She's like, you made your bed, now lie in it.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
You should have just bought. You
My
should
brother
have had
done
to buy
that for a
two and
while.
then just done it a second time.
You would have asked me
Come
to
on.
do it one time, and I was like,
no,
no way.
No,
my hair's too dark.
but no, from orange to blonde.
We
Also
tried that.
orange.
Man, that's a song.
Like the
Oh,
Crayola
that's-
commercial. Blorange.
You're thinking Cocoa Melon.
Blue and orange.
Same thing.
Nice.
Dude, Eric Andre is bluish.
What?
He's black and Jewish.
Hey.
Oh.
He's Jewish?
He goes over that in his Netflix special. He's like, I call myself bluish because my mom is Jewish, my dad's black, so I'm bluish.
To my boy Eric Andre, shalom.
Hey, dude, he talks about smoking weed with his mom. And she apparently fought it at first. She's like, no, it's illegal. He's like, we're in California, it's not. And that was all it took. She was like, oh, okay. That was the entire conversation.
Dude, people need to realize that everybody's corrupt in a sense. Where, like,
Where's this going?
weed. Like, everybody smokes weed. Well, not everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
if you support kids smoking weed, give a thumbs up. If
Hey,
you
remember
don't,
the DARE project?
remember the DARE project? How that
Ooh.
failed miserably
I
because they tried telling us what to do.
Burbank. Dude, Eddie Burbank did not get unlimited pizza, and that's why Dare failed.
Who's Eddie
Yeah,
Dare?
I'm gonna put this out there. Like, fuck the war on drugs and
Yeah.
fuck Richard Nixon.
Fuck Richard Nixon.
Dare lied to me.
I ain't
because
fucking anybody
They told
named
me
Richard.
to watch out. They told me to
Sounds
be
good.
vigilant. Okay, I don't remember who the lady was, but she was the officer for Dare.
Yeah.
She was like, "You gotta be vigilant. You gotta be on your toes because people are gonna offer you free drugs all the time, and you just gotta say no. You gotta say no. I'm not gonna do it because I believe in Dare.
Did you
I
ever,
have not been offered free drugs in my entire 21 years.
Did I offer you free drugs?
Cats? Yeah, Nick and Susan
Okay,
have.
but like
Weed selling.
strangers.
Wait, were you there the first? No, it was Robin and I. Because Robin and I were hanging out, and it was the first day we met you. I think it was the first day we met you, and you stood there. At one point, you're like, "You want to go smoke?" And we're like, "What?" Yeah, like,
Yeah.
You want to go to the
Strangers
car?
I'm talking
We're
about.
like, sure. So Robin and I walk out, and we're just like,
no,
getting
Robin
really
had
stoked.
already met Nick at that point. That was
Oh.
Robin's 19th?
Yeah, that was my 19th birthday.
Yeah.
Which I think I've told that story on the podcast
I
before,
think
actually.
you have, I think.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless
Thanks.
We in Dare would often like role play saying no. I'm not kidding.
Yo, how dumb was your school? Y'all had to practice saying no. It's like imagine what failing that looks like. Like, hey, you want some drugs?
Dude,
Sure. Damn.
you had because like
Yeah.
a lot of kids thought it was funny that like if they were like like are you sure about
Yeah.
that, they'd be like yeah sure like so we had to go extra because they would be like, you sure you don't want some? The kids would be like, yeah, sure, I'll take some. And they'd be like, that's not what you do.
No, you said you failed. That was wrong.
See, I understand that because I had to go through that, but when I went through it, I was in a Catholic school.
Oh.
So it wasn't just don't do drugs, it was don't do drugs or you're gonna die of sin.
That was like overdrive.
And, yeah. Also, fun fact about the DARE program: I had the cops called on my father. So what I did was we were talking about bongs in class, and the hippie father that I have, he smokes hookah, not a bong. So we're talking about bongs in class. And I'm like, yeah, my dad has one, and it's the coolest thing ever. I want to use it, but I can't yet. And the police showed up at my father's house, and
Fuck that snitch who told him.
I would like to point out,
Fuck 'em.
and those are legal,
and
it's a type of tobacco.
I think
Anyone didn't know.
I think there's a lesson to be learned in this, and that lesson is read the room. I think maybe. I mean, yeah, sure, it probably looked pretty sick, but I don't know that the DARE officer would have thought so.
hey, man, I was excited. I was like, oh shit, I finally know what's being said right now. Like, I understand
They
it.
can finally
It's-
understand the conversation.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I want to add to it. And
It's
they're like,
my case.
huh?
Can we
yeah.
talk about how those like drunk goggles are full of shit?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean they could
Drunk
be.
goggles do not
No,
work.
no, there was like one or two that actually were all right because they got rid of peripheral and they kind of like they didn't really fuck with the front vision. They just made it seem like it was closer than it was.
The drunk goggles that we had, you couldn't see out of them.
Really?
Yeah.
You physically couldn't see.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they're like, walk the line, and then obviously you walked off of it, and it's like, yeah, see, you can't walk a straight line. It's
The
like-
one time that I
Which is
tried
why
drunk
you
goggles,
should-
I learned that I can function if I'm drunk,
Dude.
and that's what it looks like.
We
As
should
long as I have muscle memory.
Yes.
we should buy drunk goggles.
We should.
We should.
why don't we just get drunk instead?
See,
We should
campus.
all buy drunk goggles.
I think
and
you
play
might remember
Mario
this.
Yeah, I recorded you with the drunk goggles
You
on.
did. You did. You took a picture of me while I was wearing the drunk goggles because it made my eyes look like they were down here.
Yeah.
And I played. We were doing Burial Kart in the dorm as like an event,
Yeah.
and I just
Love Burial Card.
even with the drunk goggles on, I knew what track it was, and I
Exactly.
knew where the turns were.
Dude, that's why I'm amazing at Burial Card.
Okay.
I won,
It's
and it
all
was
muscle
not
memory.
close.
I think
And
that
as
was.
soon as I started, I drifted around the first turn, and everybody who was sitting around me was like, "Whoa, what did you just do?" And I was like, "I drifted. That's what you do in Mario Kart." And they were like, "You know how to do that?" And I was like, "I've
Oh.
played Mario Kart before."
I think I got like third or fifth in that out of like.
I think you got third because you and I both got prizes. I think.
Yeah, because what happened was there were actually a lot of people during that event. Usually nobody shows up, and it's
There were
super
a lot.
awkward, and then they just give out the gifts to whoever.
Hey man,
But
we're
like-
talking normal events, not years.
But we had probably 14, 15 people trying that race. It went on fucking
I
forever.
think it was partially because they were giving away a Roku for
Yeah.
first prize.
Yeah, they actually gave out
Didn't you
decent
get
gifts.
that?
I did, and then I gave it to my parents for Christmas because I had no use for it.
What did I get? Do you remember? I didn't.
I think
I didn't
I
get the
got
steering
headphones.
wheel. I didn't get the steering wheel cover that they.
Yes.
they
Oh,
had.
that's right. I think you got headphones.
Yeah, I think he got headphones.
Wasn't that like Bluetooth headphones or something?
Oh, the little chargeable ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was it.
I think that might have been it. Yeah.
Yo.
That might have been it.
They actually kind of work all right.
So,
They are kind of.
drunk goggles are over $100.
Why?
What?
That's unfortunate.
What technology?
It's
Have your
reflective. It's,
2002.
it's reflective lenses.
They have to
We can make drunk
they
goggles.
have to get a drunk guy to QC it, and that takes like 5 times
So-
longer.
Bro, all you have to do is to get like 4 you gotta get like 4 like
Magnifying glass.
yeah,
lenses.
like and just turn them backwards to each other. Like,
Yeah.
So,
Have 'em
I'm
looking
thinking
on
what
each
we
other.
do is we get actually drunk. We put safety goggles on, and it gives us the effect, right?
Yes.
That's even better than drunk goggles because not only will we see drunk, but we'll
Dude,
be
Could
safe.
you imagine every time you get drunk, you put goggles on? And like some outside person would walk in and be like, "What's up with this kid?
What's going
up
on?
with
What's
this
with the
guy?"
goggles? Well, we're drunk. We gotta wear them.
Wait, you know what would happen? A lot more people would impersonate Larry Bird. Be like with the goggles on, I'm the best shot in the league, bitch, and then just like fucking throw their glass of beer at somebody.
Drain it straight and block it.
So, you know, what would be a really cool addition to beer goggles is like you get this modified hula hoop where it has like something that spins around it and it has a weight in it, but it can extend and retract the weight. And so at random intervals, it'll just expand and your momentum will completely change and it'll just force you over in a direction.
Why?
So you could be drunk.
Why not just be drunk?
Because it's educational.
Education.
Speaking of the DARE program and education, with the new administration, would they just fucking send kids to federal prison if they failed the DARE program? Like, imagine if you guys were taking it right now. Would they have Kamala Harris come in and just ship you off to the feds?
Probably, and she'd probably be smoking a fat blunt while sending you away. Puss ass kids.
And you can't have it.
Ooh, speaking of school, at the end of the year, did y'all ever have like school like classroom parties? Because like
Oh
the end of the year is strictly for the older kids to do their like finals and
The
shit,
pizza
right?
party.
They run out of shit for you to do,
Uh-huh.
I think
and
so.
they're like, "We're gonna do parties and shit." We had a technology day, okay, where you could bring in your DS,
Yo.
and we're like, you're
Yo,
like,
you just gave me
I
that
love tech
flashback.
days.
My
I
God,
forgot about
I have
that.
a whole story.
The fuck, Essex? Why did we not get this?
Oh shit! Yeah,
So-
Did y'all have
we got
Play-Day?
Chromebooks.
Play day.
Play day was what we had in mind.
Oh, this
We had like bouncy castles outside.
We had that in high school.
We had something similar.
We had a carnival.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Catholic school.
Yeah.
One year we had it was basically like a sports festival, right? Where like we had like races and shit. Only
Uh-huh.
we don't have corks. We're just hyped up little 12-year-olds on like bikes.
I had that kind of stuff at St. Francis when
Okay.
I was in like middle school.
Okay.
Field day and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like
Yeah.
field day.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
I think we had those in ADL, the school I went to.
And so this was like the end of the year you're talking about?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's the end of the year. It's between like really big events for the school. And we have an electronic day. So we can bring in like our DSs, not our phones though. No sir, no phones. No contacting the outside world, you're in jail. So we had our DSs, we could bring like our computers with like Minecraft on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or this, that, the other. We could bring
You want to join
board
my
games,
clan?
board games, card games. It was a game day.
Yeah.
So everybody bought their DS. This is like one of the years really, really hyped. We're all in like that chat room, like sending like
chat.
yes,
Chat,
Yeah, I remember Picto Chat.
Y'all trading
We're-
Pokemon.
we're all in this, right? And like we're all like making like memes and shit.
Uh-huh.
And there's one. It's everybody's name. It's everybody's normal name because we're not creative.
Yeah.
There's this one person. Their name is unknown. And we're like, who's this nerd? Who's this guy? And we're like, who's unknown? Because we're trying to figure out who everybody is. Because we're just all like looking around and being like, like on our games.
Yeah.
So wait a second. So everybody's using their real name in the Picto chat?
Yes.
And y'all can't decide who unknown is? Isn't everyone in the chat?
No, some people did not bring their DS or their DS
Okay.
died or
Okay. I
yeah.
was gonna say,
Not-
this is everybody.
Not
That's
everybody,
just like...
a big group of us had it.
Okay.
And we'd be like, oh, maybe it's so and so. And he'd be like, I don't even have a DS. So we'd be like, maybe.
That's a lie. Okay.
Turns out, our teacher
Oh,
had been memeing on us the whole time.
Nice.
Yo!
that's a cool teacher.
And by the end of the day, she was like, oh, like, how was everybody's day? Did you all have fun? This, that, the other. Because she was reading a book the whole day. She didn't give a fuck.
Reading a book.
She's reading a book. And she said, they're like, yeah, we had so much fun, this, that, the other. Too bad we couldn't, like, figure out, like, the mystery of who unknown is.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And she pulls her book back. And she's got a DS in her hand. And she's like, it was me this whole time. And we're all like, what? And it
You
blew,
play video games?
it blew our little minds, right?
Our teacher's a gamer.
Our
Gamers.
teachers are gamer.
They're truly rising
They're
up.
gamer.
Dude, imagine how fun like a Minecraft server for computer lab would be.
Oh.
Or just like integrating games into school.
Ooh.
An anarchy server. The oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. You guys don't know that reference,
No.
But
But we had kind of a similar thing with the bouncy castle.
Mm-hmm.
We had our senior
oh,
was one day in the last week of school. We showed up and one of the parking lots was empty, and we had like one of those like obstacle course blow up things,
yeah.
and that was supposedly the senior prank.
Yeah.
Ha! Pranked!
Our
Got 'em.
senior prank got destroyed by the juniors.
See, our
No.
senior prank didn't happen because they wanted to do federal offenses.
Well, okay.
Oh!
No, we
Our-
found property. That
So
was
hold
our
on.
senior
Okay,
prank.
our senior prank that was official on the book senior prank was we were going to saran wrap the front of the building so that no one could enter,
Oh.
and then put
Alright, that's
shit
sick.
all over the halls. I can't remember if they were balloons or like bouncy balls. I don't remember. But the juniors, we set it all up. I was not there. They set it all up. And they were like, we did it. They were like in our Facebook group, they were like, we did it. And then the juniors later that night came, destroyed it all, replaced our like, because you always know the seniors have done their prank because they put cups up on the chain link fence that says senior and then the year.
Uh-huh.
They replaced our cups with junior and their year.
Oh.
Motherfuckers.
And they put it out on Twitter.
So they took credit?
No, they destroyed our prank. Made that their prank
Oh my...
by destroying ours.
That's not a prank.
That's not...
Exactly.
No!
Exactly.
What a bunch of suck-ups!
Yeah. So they destroyed our prank. And they reclaimed like junior and then the year.
Now you have to go to school because
We
school's
all
cool.
we all
Prank.
wake up. We all wake up the next morning. Everyone's angry.
Well, yeah!
And cause I'm like, here it is, here we go, and I see the junior.
Bro, I'd be angry too!
Class of 2018, and I'm like, hold up, what the fuck?
Like, that's not what we
and
put.
I'm not big on Twitter at the time, so I don't know what's happening. And then someone walks up to me and goes, "Did you see what they did?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "The junior class destroyed our prank, made their own, and then replaced our cups." And I was like, "Well, was their prank better?" And they go, "No." And I'm like, "Well, what the hell? What is this bullshit?"
Oh,
So
man.
we're like, all right, well, we got to think of a better prank. There's a subdivision behind the high school, and there's a little road leading to the subdivision down the hill. There's a gate there for the subdivision to lock us out from going out through their subdivision rather than out to the street,
Mhm.
right? We hated that because it would often be locked, and then traffic would be backed up getting out of the school between the buses and the kids.
Yeah.
Because they would always stop they would always stop traffic coming out like maybe 10 minutes early before like all the kids got on the buses.
Right.
So like the buses weren't even ready. Like kids are still walking, and they've like held traffic up for the buses to
Yeah.
depart.
That's
Right.
weird.
So, the night of prom, when no one's at the building, someone leaves prom a decent amount early, takes the fence, and by this point, it was after our last full day of school as seniors, so everybody else is still going to school, we're not. They take the fence, they throw it in the woods. And now, everybody angry, and they're like, who did it? And we're all like, snitches get stitches, bro. We don't fucking know. They posted up a cop at the back gate for the rest of the year, and no one could use it.
But like we were already done.
But
so it
we
didn't
were already
matter to
done for
us.
the year, so it didn't matter.
Right.
It was a big fuck you to the juniors and the sophomores.
Back in 4th and 5th grade, we had something similar where the 4th graders would always go out to recess first, and then the 5th graders would swap out with them. But the 5th graders decided one day to start building trenches out of the snow.
What?
Yeah, so
Some World War One shit.
Yeah.
The trenches, boys.
yeah, so we probably had 100 feet from the fence that led to a small incline down into the forest to like this parking lot area. And in between, of course, was the playground, which extended for a while, then opened up. But we decided to focus on that front area that I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5th graders, which was led by Spencer, he was the organizer for it, and I jumped in. He decided, let's build this whole trench, and we managed to do it. And we had this little like dugout area, foxholes. We had just a giant line. We had 2 lines of trenches eventually. And then one day we come out because it's the north. The snow stays there, and we have enough snow where it's about 3 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a trench.
Yeah.
And the 4th graders are being little bitches about claiming who created the trenches. Because fuck you didn't put in the work. You just got there first for the day. And there was this one kid who's kind of sped, like a special ed kid. And his name was John, and he was throwing an absolute hissy fit over it. To the point where I tried like getting in with Spencer, and we were like, okay, it's everybody's trench, blah, blah, blah. And eventually the adult takes him away.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as, like, we're watching him go into the side door that leads to the cafeteria,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as he gets in the door, we all just turn to each other and say, we're destroying this shit. It's either ours or nobody's. So we all start stomping on the edges of the trenches, filling it all in with more snow. And we get about halfway there until we see 3 of the nicest teachers in school, who are also, like, special ed teachers, rush out and, like, almost sprint at us. And we're like, oh, fuck. Like,
stop what you're doing.
Like, have you ever seen a nice person just get angry and run at you? It's like, it's a little intimidating.
At Robin.
And
It's like, I've never seen that look
I
on
was
your
gonna
face
say at
before.
Robin when he gets angry and yells.
yeah, so we start to panic a little bit, but we're already caught in the act. So there's like 15 of us. Some of the guys start
Drop in
running
the
away.
trench, run.
Yeah. And
Drop in the rest and just be like,
right. So they're
Make
like,
your own no man's land.
they get really mad at us because what happened was, as he was walking through the hallway to get back to his bedroom or whatever it was, I don't know.
did he see you?
He looked out the window and saw everybody
Oh,
destroying the
no.
trench.
Oh,
You broke
dear.
his little heart.
Well, fuck him.
Fuck them kids, bro.
Fuck him. It's our trench. We built it. Imagine if the British and Germans were fighting, and then one day the Germans threw a hissy fit because the British built a trench. Or, well, it'd be the other way around because Germans is better at building trenches. Be like, no, it's our
The French
trench.
are normally good for surviving.
But wasn't this kid
Yeah.
wasn't this kid like, no, like it's everybody's trench.
No,
Everybody
no.
can enjoy
He
it.
was the asshole.
Okay.
We were the nice ones saying, oh no, we can share it because, no, it's mine. And he was sitting there like with his
Okay.
arms curled up. No! And, ah! Like, I'm not exaggerating. That's what he was doing.
I thought he was.
like your sped impression here.
I thought he was like, we can all get along. We can all share.
And then they just stop it.
Because that was...
No, and he was like, and Jason was the one that was like, no, we can't share.
No.
I had it backwards.
No,
Okay.
no, yeah. Originally, we were trying to be nice because it's like, we're already wasting a lot of our time during recess. I think
What are you talking about? You're making memories.
we probably had 10, 15 minutes spent trying to, like, persuade this kid that he should leave because he has stuff to do and we had recess to enjoy.
He has stuff to do.
And he was being such a stubborn little brat. He's like, fine, it's your trench, but we all did it together.
Yeah.
And so when he saw us destroying it, he let out the loudest screech, apparently.
No.
And,
Like one of those tornado sirens.
yeah, and that's why the teachers ran out. And so they pull me and Spencer into like the I don't want to call it principal's office, but like
Probably
counselor's
the
office.
counselor's
Oh.
Yeah, and they give us pink slips, which at the time were like big no-no slips that you only get for naughty kids.
Gonna get that new car. You
Yeah.
Get the pink slip.
No. But what happened was I had to keep arguing, and I was like, Spencer, look, I wasn't organizing any of this. I was just one of the dudes. And he's like, yeah, I understand. I'll take the fall for you, my man. And I keep arguing with the teacher, and eventually they let me off the hook because Spencer was being nice, and Spencer took the fall. And I never knew what happened after that.
He
But-
probably got 3 days suspension, and everybly acted like it never happened.
He probably
Spencer
just
was
got
never
a
seen or
talking
heard of
to.
again.
Well, this is.
They hauled him off to jail for upsetting him.
well, I mean, so 4th and 5th grade, you could get away with a lot of stuff, and they wouldn't really do anything. Like, there's another time I was trying to protect my friend who was getting bullied by 2 girls, and the girls lied and said I was pulling their hair and hitting them. And so my punishment was drawing a sorry card.
Yo,
And
my little brother today sent me a text, and I quote, so in the 5th and 6th grade building, they're real on politeness, right? My little brother's a piece of shit. He sent me a text today, and he goes, Sissy, I have to write the code of conduct 36 times, but I'm not doing that shit. His exact quote.
When did he send you this?
This afternoon at 3:43 p.m. Okay? This is right after school. The code of conduct is like, I will not lie, cheat, or steal, nor will I tolerate anyone who does. And they make us quote it every day after the Pledge of Allegiance like we're fucking Nazis, okay?
So why did he have to write this?
I asked him that. I said, why the fuck did you do? And he goes, I turned in my homework 1 day late. And I went, hold up.
There's more to this than that.
I went, hang up. Now I'm concerned.
This sounds like he's editing the story a little bit.
Either fuck this kid for lying to me or fuck this teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, either way, he's not gonna do it. My mom has. My mom's one of those teachers one of those parents every teacher's scared of.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you hear there's another sibling coming, they're like, oh fuck. They thought I was the last. Joke's on them. Last time this happened, because they tried to make me do it at one point, and my mom, I was like, okay, that's fair, and I started doing it. My grandma was like, hey, like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm writing the code of conduct, like, this many times.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, why? And I'm like, I got in trouble, and this is my punishment. And then she went, what? She's like, that's kind of fucked up.
It's ridiculous.
So my grandma told my mom. My mom went to the school, and then suddenly I didn't have to write the code of conduct 36 times. But I was like, okay, I didn't really question
Just
it.
do a detention, like, that's...
For real, like, just do detention. Like, just
that's-
do community service, something.
Yeah.
Wait, what grade was this?
It was 5th and 6th grade.
So you could probably say no recess.
Yeah.
And then that would be like, because sometimes we would have indoor recess and outdoor recess because, some people don't want to go out when it's cold or they just want to play board games. That's such an easy way to do it because you can monitor the kids
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you can have them
But-
somewhat entertained.
I called my mom, right? Because I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't the whole story.
Mhm.
I want to hear the whole story.
Yeah.
So I called my mom and I was like, are you aware that your son got in trouble at school? And she goes, this is news to me. And I went, interesting. And she goes, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, well, he texted me and said that he had to write the code of conduct so many times or something. And she goes, not that I'm aware of. And I went, interesting. She goes, did he say what he did? And like, apparently he turned his homework in a day late or something. And she goes, well, this is all news to me. So, I don't know, but I'll find out.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's more to this than what he's saying.
I was like, I wonder how this is gonna end. Like,
You turn
either
your homework in one day late, and she's like, you have to write the code of conduct this many times to make sure
like
that
it's
you're
like
not
a
going to be in
paragraph.
jail.
I don't remember the whole thing. I remember the first half,
It's ridiculous.
but it was a bit.
Why 36 times?
I don't know. They just choose a random number and they're like that.
Man, they had this thing in spelling. Okay, when I was like middle school, junior high. So for me, that's 5th to 8th grade.
Yeah.
And they did this thing where, in order to learn how to spell something, they have you write it in the form of a pyramid. So you write one letter,
We did that.
2 letters, 3
We did
letters,
that. Yes.
4 letters, yeah, and you keep
It
going
didn't
down.
help.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Dude.
Even my own parents, when watching me do this, they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "This is how they want us to spell the words." And they're like, "That's stupid."
That's how you speak Egyptian.
That
Well-
rainbow words. Did you guys ever have to do
Rainbow
I think
words,
so.
What is that?
You, like, do
write
it in-
it. See, we did it differently. We chose up to I think 8 different colored pens, and you had to write the same word over each other.
I think I did have to do that.
And yeah,
It's
We
so
did-
dumb.
We did that, and we did something where like you could. All the art kids did it. I don't know, fucking weirdos. They'd get the red and they'd do it in like the rainbow shape.
Uh-huh.
And then they get like the different colors and do it in the shape. And then
Ugh.
everyone was like, that looks so cool. And then everyone started doing it. And all the teachers were like, yes, learn how to spell.
Yeah. Oh,
Yo,
so
I would have
funny.
rather had spelling tests than that.
We had spelling tests. I fucking hated them.
See, I didn't. I had the pyramid thing instead, and I would have to do it a certain number of times. I had to write those pyramids like 20 times per word.
Now, if they had like an alternative to the multiplication tables, because I actually kind of enjoyed that as a kid, like because we got little prizes if you were in first.
Yeah?
If they did an alternative to that, but in an English format,
There was
that'd be kind of cool.
There was one time when I was in like first grade, we were doing like a multiplication thing, and we all had a sheet of paper with like, you know, a number of problems on them.
Mhm.
And I remember one day I scored like, I don't even remember how many problems were on the piece of paper, but I got like close to a 0 because not because I was wrong, because my pencil broke and I had to sharpen it, and she wouldn't stop the timer for me.
Oh.
And she made me turn it in.
What?
I was sharpening my pencil
What
for
a
like
bitch.
the majority of the time, and I couldn't write anything down. And so when I got done, I wrote down what I could, and she made me turn it in like that. And I was like, I hardly got anything done. You're not gonna let me finish? And she's like, nope, just turn it in. And then
I think I had something similar
I brought it
happen.
home when it was graded, and my dad was really mad at me, and I had to explain it. He was like, "How do you get a 0 on this?" And I was like, "Because I couldn't finish it. She wouldn't let me."
Yo, I'm gonna be for real with you one time. That reminded me of something.
Yeah.
I had I forget what class it was for. They gave us like a crossword to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't fucking do the crossword. Because, like, it also didn't have a word bank either, so I couldn't just kind of like guess it out and figure it out. They just kind of like gave you like things, and I was like, I don't know how to do this, so I just wrote in random words, like random like letters.
Was that in junior high?
I think so.
I remember this happening.
I think so.
The teacher fucking hated you for it.
It's like,
For
well,
the
you
rest
got
of
the
the year,
number
my
of
teacher
letters
hated
right, but the definitions, man.
No, they were just random letters. Like, I didn't even try.
No?
I just filled it in so it looked like it was done, but it was just a bunch of gibberish.
When should grades become a thing in
I still
school?
passed her class, though. I don't know how that happened.
But when should grades be a thing, though? Because it sounds like grading children just doesn't work. Because that's not the objective. The objective is to have fun as a kid. And
Yeah, it's you're trying to get them to learn, and so making these assignments that you grade them harshly on just doesn't sound like a great way to. It doesn't sound like a great way to grab their attention and make them want to continue.
Right, and who uses those grades anyway? Because our school back up north used to do like a 1 through 4 thing. 1 being your absolute dog trash and you
Yeah.
should feel bad, and 4 is like you went above and beyond somehow.
Yeah.
But usually it's a 3 or a 2. 2 is like you're kind of improving.
In primary school, which is kindergarten through 2nd grade, we got graded on like creativity and stuff as
Okay.
well.
I always failed that.
Because we got graded on other things like in kindergarten we got graded on like kindness and like creativity
That's kind of cool.
as well as like
I'm stone cold.
Yo, we had something like that too. I think it was for different periods they would judge our performance. And I remember one day I was wearing socks in the gym because we take off our shoes to do events or to like I don't know. And we were doing this one, I think it was just tag or something. Because I was running at full speed, I was going ham, and I wanted to take a turn, and I just kept sliding in the direction I was running because I just ran too fast. And they thought I was so happy during that, and then they pulled me over and said, "We're gonna have to take a point off of that, like niceness or like, you know, of playing fair or something because you were kind of aggressive during gym." I was just running.
Playing tag, bro.
Playing gym! You were aggressive during tag.
Ooh.
in shit.
Ooh,
You know what's
speaking of
awesome?
aggressive. Wait. Speaking of aggressive, I got banned by the teachers for giving one-handed high fives
what?
because
Wait.
What?
at the end of gym class, if you did good, you could give the teacher either a one-hand or a two-handed high five. So you could, you just hold up both of your hands and hit them at the same time, or you just give a regular high five.
Yeah.
And
Did you hurt someone?
I would go just as hard as I did during tag. I would whip that son of a bitch into their hand, and it would like,
You hurt someone.
and it would sting their hands. Like a 4th grader could make an adult's hand hurt, and my hand at the time, I didn't register it. I didn't register it, but my hand felt like pin needles for a while. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
You got banned from giving high fives because you hurt the teacher?
Yeah.
Imagine
love that.
being such a weak gym teacher.
Right.
You can't
And
handle
imagine
high
being
five.
such a chad of a kid that you're hurting your teacher and making them scared to high five.
So I had to give
Yeah.
I still had to give double hand high fives, but all it did was just like I don't know. I just did it as hard as I could. It's just the most spaz type thing you could do. Just,
Monkey brain go.
I still beat the shit out
Like
of
when a monkey's slapping the glass at the zoo.
yeah.
No, listen, okay, hold on.
Dude, I
Kids-
love gym class.
Hold on.
I love gym class.
Kids are super strong, okay? So my niece is 8 years old. She came up to Nick and I one day while I was at my sister's house, and she goes, "You want to see this cool thing I learned?" And I'm like, "Sure." She's like, "All right, give me your hands, give me your hands." And I was
Oh,
like,
no.
"Okay." And she gave me her hands. She whips my hands up and down as hard as her little body will allow her.
Uh-huh.
And it hurt so fucking bad. And I was like, "Ow, stop!" Like, and then I was like, "Go do that to your uncle. Go get Nick." I was like, "Go anywhere else."
Wait, did
And
she do it? to
She
Nick?
did it to Nick, and Nick's like, "That hurt my feelings." It fucking hurt.
Ooh, you know what's another thing you could learn as a kid is you I don't remember what it's called. Mercy. It's called mercy. And the two things you could do with mercy is you interlace your fingers.
Are you talking about peanut balls?
Wait.
What?
This
Hold on,
sounds
No,
like
so Susan,
Just-
Susan, do this with me.
Okay.
So both of our hands would be like
Both?
this,
Okay.
and you'd say, I don't know, you just start. So
Okay.
the two strategies, you have to be palm to palm, by the way,
Palm,
because
okay.
if you do this, then it's impossible.
Okay.
But one strategy is just to crank their hands back, and then
It's pinochle.
and then the other strategy is to squeeze your fingers onto their fingers until they give up. And so I was
That's
learning.
totally what this is, yeah.
Yeah, so I was learning this with my dad. I'm like, "Dad, look, I'm strong." And I started doing it. He's like, "Oh, good job." And then next time I hear, "Let's try it again." And he grabs my hands and instantly just goes like that. And I'm like, I gotta keep going. And so I pulling or pushing his hands or rotating his hands back while he's squeezing my fingers as a little kid. Like,
So
I was trying my best. It was like, what would that be like? That's
what
like
did you call that?
Mercy.
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 Huh.
So Nick and I are describing Pinocchles the other day, right? Which is exactly that.
Knuckles.
Well, isn't it?
What?
Isn't it when you punch the other person?
No, that's bloody
it's the
knuckles.
same thing.
Oh, that's what my dad.
I'm always
used to
real
do.
good at that one.
It's basically we would only do it with one hand. We wouldn't do it with
Okay.
both.
Pussies.
But they're talking about like, yeah, you know, we were playing Pinocchles as kids, and I'm in the back seat and I go, excuse me.
You have no idea what that.
And I'm like, you know,
were doing
Pinocchles-
what?
It certainly sounds bad.
Yeah, I'm like, so did you piss on each other's hands? What's going on?
Yo, is that like Blood Brothers but for kids with bladder problems?
Wiener cousin.
There's also
Wiener cousins!
There's also the one where you like, you know, you take each other's hand and then you just smack the person's hand while you're
Tennis.
holding it.
Tennis or something like that.
I don't remember what that was
Yeah,
called.
it was
but
called
yeah.
something like tennis because I remember one day we
I think
had
it's just called slaps, bro.
slaps. Yeah, slaps, or it was either called slaps or table tennis or something like that.
Yeah.
Hand tennis, whatever it
I
was.
don't think it was called table.
No, we called it up there. We called it something tennis up there.
Table
Okay.
tennis.
Just tennis. Or well, anyway. So I remember this because
Side note.
we-
You wanna no. Listen.
okay.
So it's just like you're like, yo, you wanna go play some table tennis? And they're like, yeah, like we're gonna play some like.
So yeah, let's play. He's like, all right, yeah, good
He
game.
just aggressively grabs your hand and smacks it as hard as he can.
Okay, I don't think it was table tennis, but it was something tennis, and we also called it slaps. But I remember that vividly because we had this one class where there's this one giant guy, Anthony Constantino, yeah. And we had Arthur Beliveau. That was the matchup. And
Name drops.
yeah, name drops. Shout out to my boys. Anyway, Anthony was one of the bigger guys, not like fat, but he just had a bigger build.
Anthony, in high school, I would describe it as Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Like, he was just large.
large. He was very large, and he had a bit of pride on being that way, kind of
Yeah.
like how bigger guys tend to be like, I'm strong.
Uh-huh.
Anthony was kind of like that. And Arthur Beliveau was the nerdiest piano playing, glasses having, Japanese speaking son of a bitch,
Oh.
but in a good way.
And I'm in Calc 2.
In a good way though.
So this is the matchup.
So
Yeah.
he was an absolute
Like-
G though. He was such a cool guy that I never got angry at him unless it was that one time where he didn't drink water on our way to Japan and he got mad at me for saying to drink water, so I yelled at him and he drank water and was like, oh, I feel better. Like, for such a smart guy, you were being such a dumbass. Anyway, so
He doesn't like the taste of water, bro.
like Arthur. Okay, well, have you ever seen those mini soda containers, like the plastic ones?
Uh-huh.
He would bring that to school as his water bottle and only drink a third of that by the end of the day. He did not drink water. He didn't eat very much. He was skinny. He was as skinny as a twig. And
Yeah,
so
he really embodied the pale nerd kid.
yes.
Okay.
So these two lock hands, getting ready to play slaps or tennis or something,
Dear
and
God.
they go for 25 fucking minutes without stop. Both of their hands were about to bleed. They popped so many vessels or blood vessels that their hands were turning blue. And they're like, "Oh, the bell rung. I guess we gotta stop."
Dude, it was Dr. Frankenstein versus his monster.
Yes.
The bell rung.
Because the bell rung. They ran out of time.
What I'm envisioning is like a kid going up against a kid who's like twice his size.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you go for 25 minutes?
I don't know, but they somehow managed
He
it.
just didn't have pain receptors.
They-
Imagine shutting that part off of your brain.
It would be great.
Oh my god! But that was impressive. That was a David and Goliath moment. If David and Goliath ended in a full-on wrestling match,
And like a handshake.
yes,
Like they shook hands and they were like, you know what, you're cool.
yeah, and they were cool about it. They were nice to each other.
Huh.
They were both chill guys. Sorry, go ahead.
You're
Susan.
okay. I always wanted to play Pinocchles and Slaps because all of my friends were boys. All of my friends have always been boys.
Yeah.
But my friend Dylan, he was father figure of my childhood kind of thing. He was the friend that would protect me kind of thing. He made one simple rule, and that was that you could not hurt Susan. So Susan could not play slaps, or pinocchles. We got to about 5th grade, whenever he was like, fine, we can play slaps and pinocchles. I was like, yes! And everyone hurt my feelings. So now I understand.
You went until 5th grade thinking like, man, you're lucky this man's holding me back, and then he's not holding you back anymore, and you're like,
I'm sad.
Dude, as a
I'll be
kid,
right back.
I swear half of the strength men get is from being a kid and just demolishing your body in stubbornness. Just playing slaps, tackling each other, fucking each other up. Well, you know, besides lifting and whatnot.
How's that thumb of yours, Nick?
That's pretty good. Yeah, kids just go 100%, man, all the time. They are always at 100%.
And it's fucking amazing.
They don't know how to
They
go
don't know how
any
to
less
not.
than 100%, so they do everything at full strength.
Yeah. Either that or they go at 0%, where they're like pansies. Because I remember at like the water park, we had the high dive, and we would dare each other to do belly flops and hot
That's
seats
like
and whatnot.
infants just grabbing fingers just strongly. They're just like,
Yeah.
100%, I'm gonna hold this.
But then you have the kids where they just sit at the top of the diving board and they're like, I'm too scared, and somebody has to come and push them off. No.
No, you gotta do that thing and like where you get behind them and then just start jumping
Yeah,
on it.
yes.
Like with the vegan kid.
Yeah.
No, we had a moment in our childhoods back in summer camp where we would all go off the diving board, and then every like hour or 30 minutes or something, they would have like the adult swim.
Mhm.
And occasionally the adult swim would take so damn long because everybody would be staring at the diving board where this kid failed to jump off the diving board. So they sat there and coached him to like jump.
Mhm.
And then eventually we're like, why are they so scared to jump? And somebody's like, oh yeah, make sure you don't jump off too far to the right because somebody got paralyzed hitting the concrete from 15 feet up. We're like, I was on the diving board when that almost happened. Like right after, I was like, oh,
So just
so
jump
this
left.
is fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would have thoughts of like, there was the pavement next to the diving board, which was like 7 feet away. But then an extra like 5 feet away, there would be a building. I'm like, I wonder if I bounce enough on the diving board, I can jump onto the building. But good thing I never did. There was one time though, I went off the diving board as many times as I could. And I did 15 belly flops off the high dive, and then 24 hot seats, to the point where the lifeguards were asking me if I was okay. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I want to impress the counselors at camp. And then I told my dad, and he got very upset. It's like, why are you so red all over your body? He's like, I did a bunch of belly flops and hot seats. Why? Because the counselors asked me to. And he's like, what did they just say? Or like, they asked you to do this? I'm like, yeah, I wanted to make them happy. I wanted to make them laugh. I'm like, I wasn't asked to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys have done hot seats and belly flops before, right?
Oh, absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
no, Susan.
Susan doesn't like water. Susan can't swim.
That's why you do a belly flop. You don't go down.
Can't swim?
You just
Yeah,
hit the
you can't
surface.
swim?
I can't swim.
Bro,
It's okay, I can
you could
barely
have
swim.
said that when we were in the ocean, and I was like, Susan, go swim. We're at the ocean. And you're like, no, I don't want to. It's going to be cold. And I was like, man, I really just drove 3
No,
hours to the
I
ocean
just
for this
can't.
person.
Bro, I
and
just
she
can't
won't go for a swim. And you wouldn't tell me that you can't swim?
It's because you have this reaction.
Dude, I would have understood more.
Bro, are you a character from like a Rockstar franchise before GTA 4?
Dude, you could have just told me.
You could have
You
taught
just
her.
touched water,
I was-
wasted.
Wait, Robin, no, you could have taught her with you and Nick just chucking her into the deep section of the water.
She dips her toe in.
If you
Yeah.
just
Oh,
told me that you can't
Yeah.
swim, I would have been so much less upset and so much more understanding.
I just can't swim, bro. I'm sorry.
But I don't blame you, Susan, because
So, as a kid, I often had dreams of drowning. You know, as you do. Drowning. I was scared of water. I don't know, bro.
It just do be like that.
I never wanted to like be without my floaties because my floaties, I was like, these are what keeps me alive, and I like these. And then I got too big for floaties, and I was like, I guess I'm never swimming again because I didn't know how to swim. I tried to take swimming lessons at the YMCA, but like my first swimming lesson, they were like, all right, jump in, and I went, huh? You want me to what?
Yeah.
And they were like, you what? You're not into that? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Nice. So
Yeah,
they
no.
pushed you in?
Sometimes.
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 Dude, swimming isn't that bad once you just like get the.
You finally get over
over
a
the fear.
hump and you're like, oh, this is the simplest shit ever. Why have I been afraid of this?
Yeah, because it's just like.
It's really just like a split second and then it's like, oh, I get it now. Like,
Because what you do, what we were always taught is you cup your hands like ice cream scoops,
Mhm.
and then you're grabbing and pulling,
Mhm.
and that's if you want to go forward. So it's kind of like you're grabbing onto something and pulling, but it's not exactly solid.
Mhm.
And so you kick with your feet at an angle. You always want to like slightly push down if you're trying to do a front crawl, because if you slightly push down, you're pulling yourself forward, but also up,
Mhm.
and your natural buoyancy is going to help. But if you're just floating, you just kind of do like that, but sideways and slightly down. And then
I'm
you
always, whenever I'm sitting still, but you gotta like kick your little feet, I'm always like, this is it.
Yeah,
This is
don't-
how I die.
don't rely
I'm
on
gonna
your
get
feet.
tired.
Do not rely on your feet for swimming. That's a
most
sure
of the
way
time
to
when I
die.
swim, I don't use my feet at all, actually.
They do very little, unless you're like one of those water polo guys where you can do the weird like.
Yeah, you can
Kick.
do the like,
Yeah.
you like circle your feet around and it just keeps you
Well,
level.
it's like you're doing a figure eight and you're doing
Mhm.
like the batter beater or whatever they like one of those machines.
Yeah.
But I did it at one point because water polo guys were like at my first college like, you want to learn? I'm like, sure. And then I never joined the club because I transferred.
Water
But-
polo's rough.
It is, yeah. I tried playing water polo during a swimming class once. I'm like, I can do this, and nope.
No,
you can't.
No, you cannot.
I know I can't swim as fast as a horse runs, so
Nah.
it ain't gonna work for me. Why don't you put it in the chat? Do you think we have a decent amount of content? Leave a like.
Yeah, do we like this setup better? Where
I like it.
I just kind of choose to start whenever I please.
Yeah, I like
'cause
it better.
hopefully, it flows more naturally, so people don't have to like have that expectation.
Right, because I feel like once I do the intro, everyone's like, "Oh, we're being recorded. I better not."
Drop a like,
Ha-
subscribe, and hit
Let's
that bell button.
perform to the camera, or
Yeah.
perform to the microphone.
Perform
subscriptions
to
don't
no
matter.
audience.
Yeah, it's yeah. So hopefully, you guys liked it.
Yeah, like I said in the intro, we got other shit coming. It'll be on Tuesday, and it'll have like a rotation. And Thursdays are always for podcasts. Podcasts will continue to be weekly.
Nice.
But I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
I like our new board. We have fun sounds we can play with.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please share us with your friends. We have a Facebook page, even if anybody ever uses Facebook anymore.
Facebook. More like Facebook.
Exactly. So yeah, everybody say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So long.